Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start today with a question. How many of you know someone who has been single for a long time? Maybe it's you. Maybe it's your sister, your friend, your co-worker. Society looks at this and says, why is she single? What's wrong? Why hasn't she settled down? And this is where I want to stop us, because we're asking the wrong question. Instead of asking, why is she single? We should be asking, what is she waiting for? What is she building? What is she protecting? The difference between loneliness and strength. We live in a world that often confuses being alone with being lonely. It's a mistake we make without realizing it, because for generations we've been taught that companionship is the ultimate goal, that finding a partner is the measure of success, that love from another person is the thing that completes us. But what if that's not true? What if being alone for a long time is not about loneliness, but about something much deeper, about strength, self-awareness, and purpose? When a woman is single for an extended period, people tend to assume there's something missing. They believe she must be unhappy, struggling, or unlucky in love. They assume she must feel lonely. But in reality, that assumption is often wrong. She isn't lonely. She's discerning. She isn't waiting to be saved. She's thriving in her own space. The strength to be alone, to not settle, to choose oneself first is one of the greatest forms of power a person can have. In our fast-moving society, we glorify busyness, relationships, and external validation. We equate being surrounded by people with happiness and fulfillment, but there's something uniquely powerful about a woman who has learned to be at peace with her own company. A woman who doesn't need external validation to feel whole. A woman who isn't afraid of silence, who isn't afraid to sit with her thoughts, who isn't afraid to stand alone when necessary. That kind of strength is rare, and it is often misunderstood. When someone is truly comfortable being alone, it means they have done the work to understand themselves. They have spent time exploring their values, their passions, their non-negotiables. They have learned to enjoy their own presence, to find joy in solitude, and to create a life that is fulfilling on its own. That kind of person does not enter into relationships out of fear, desperation, or pressure. They enter because they genuinely want to, because the relationship adds to their already rich life rather than filling a void. But here's the truth. Choosing to be alone for an extended period requires courage. It requires the ability to say no when society tells you to say yes. It requires the patience to wait for something that aligns with your values, rather than rushing into something that looks good on the surface but lacks depth. And that level of discernment often looks like loneliness to people who don't understand it. There is a powerful shift that happens when a woman embraces being single, not as a temporary state of waiting, but as a period of growth, self-discovery, and personal strength. She stops seeing relationships as a requirement for happiness and instead sees them as a potential bonus to an already meaningful life. She doesn't settle for someone just to avoid being alone, because she knows that being in the wrong relationship is far lonelier than being single. This kind of woman is not easy to understand, nor is she easy to manipulate. She has built a foundation of confidence that doesn't waver when others question her choices. She knows that love is not about completing someone, but about complementing them. And because of that, she waits, not because she has to, but because she chooses to. A woman who has been single for a long time isn't lacking love. She is simply unwilling to accept anything less than real, meaningful, and lasting love. That's not loneliness. That's strength, the power of purpose. When we look at someone who has been single for a long time, we often focus on what they're missing rather than what they're building. Society tends to prioritize relationships as a necessary part of personal fulfillment. But for many women, their journey of being single is one of purpose, self-discovery, and growth. A woman who is single for an extended period isn't just waiting for a relationship. She is busy cultivating a life that is meaningful to her, one that aligns with her values, her passions, and her vision for the future. Purpose is an incredibly powerful force. It fuels ambition, drives decisions, and shapes every aspect of life. When someone has a clear sense of purpose, they move through the world with intention. Their actions are guided by a deeper understanding of who they are and what they stand for. For many women who have remained single for a long time, this sense of purpose becomes the core of their lives. These women are not simply waiting for the right partner to come along. They are living fully, chasing their dreams, and creating lives that are rich with meaning. They focus on their careers, their personal growth, their hobbies, their health, their friendships, and their contributions to the world. They build their own legacy, not out of a desire to fill a void, but out of a commitment to their passions. In this way, being single becomes not a period of deprivation, but one of opportunity. What often gets overlooked in the conversation about long-term singlehood is the immense power that comes from dedicating time and energy to something that brings genuine fulfillment. A woman who is single for a long time might spend years developing a business, traveling the world, mastering a craft, or simply working on becoming the best version of herself. And when she does eventually decide to let someone into her life, it will not be because she needs them to complete her or make her whole. It will be because she recognizes the potential to build something beautiful together, something that enhances the life she has already worked so hard to create. Purpose is what keeps people grounded when external pressures try to pull them in different directions. It helps them maintain focus and stay true to their goals, even when they face criticism or questions about their relationship status. For a woman with a clear sense of purpose, the journey of being single isn't a sign of weakness, loneliness, or failure. It's a sign of strength, independence, and dedication to something greater than simply being in a relationship for the sake of being in one. A woman who has purpose doesn't need to rush into a relationship because she has already built a life she loves. She isn't desperate to fill the space next to her with someone just to avoid feeling alone. Instead, she recognizes that a relationship is an addition to her already full and meaningful life. She has no need to settle because she is content in her own skin and with the life she has created. For many women, their singlehood is a period of incredible growth and self-discovery. During this time, they learn to cultivate their independence, pursue their passions, and gain clarity about their desires in life. This process of personal evolution makes them not only better partners, but more fulfilled individuals. Their purpose becomes their guiding force, and as they walk their path with conviction, they naturally attract people who align with their values and vision. Purpose also gives a woman the confidence to say no when something doesn't serve her, whether it's a relationship, an opportunity, or an expectation from others. She understands that time and energy are precious, and she will not waste them on things or people that don't align with her higher purpose. She lives her life according to her own standards, and in doing so, she sets herself up for success, not only in her personal life, but also in her professional, social, and spiritual journey. Ultimately, the power of purpose is transformative. It empowers a woman to take control of her destiny, to shape her life according to her dreams, and to stand firm in her choices. When she does choose to welcome someone into her world, it will not be because she is incomplete or lacking. It will be because she recognizes that together they can build something even greater. The danger of rushing. In a world that celebrates instant gratification and fast-paced decisions, one of the most powerful acts a woman can make is the ability to resist rushing into a relationship. There is immense value in taking the time to truly understand oneself and what one desires, and in a society that often pressures individuals to find love quickly, this is a rarity that should be cherished and honored. Too often we rush into relationships convinced that the need for companionship is urgent, that we are incomplete without another person, or that love is something to be obtained as soon as possible. Yet, when we rush, we often end up compromising on our values, settling for less or worse, staying in situations that aren't healthy for us. Rushing into a relationship out of fear, insecurity, or societal pressure can cloud judgment and lead to decisions that don't align with one's true desires. Many people enter into relationships because they believe they should, not because they truly want to. They fear being alone, worry about what others will think, or believe that finding a partner is an essential part of life. This pressure is amplified in women who may feel that their worth is determined by their relationship status. They rush into love thinking that it will fill the gap, provide the validation they crave, or give them the sense of belonging they feel is necessary. But relationships built on these foundations are often shaky. They tend to lack the depth and stability that come with thoughtful and deliberate choices. When a woman settles for a relationship simply to avoid loneliness or societal expectations, she may end up compromising on the things that matter most to her: her values, her boundaries, and even her sense of self. The consequences of rushing into a relationship can lead to resentment, disappointment, and ultimately a deeper sense of loneliness. The relationship, rather than being a source of fulfillment, becomes a burden that complicates an already beautiful life. Rushing also takes away from the opportunity to truly understand the other person. In the haste to find love, we may overlook red flags, ignore gut feelings, or downplay the importance of compatibility. A relationship should not be about trying to make someone fit into a mold, nor should it be about changing oneself to meet someone else's expectations. The pressure to make it work when the relationship isn't right can cloud our ability to recognize the truth about the situation, and this can prevent us from stepping away when it's clear that the relationship isn't serving us. The danger of rushing into a relationship is that it also prevents us from nurturing our own growth. Relationships can be beautiful and transformative, but they also require time, energy, and emotional investment. If we enter into a relationship without taking the time to truly understand who we are, what we want, and what we need from a partner, we risk losing sight of our own identity. A healthy relationship thrives on the mutual respect and support of two whole individuals, not on the foundation of two halves trying to make each other complete. In contrast, when a woman takes the time to be single, to reflect, to grow, and to develop her own life, she gains clarity. She learns what she values in relationships, what her non-negotiables are, and what she can offer a partner. This period of self-discovery also gives her the opportunity to heal from past hurts, release old patterns of behavior, and develop the emotional resilience necessary for a healthy relationship. When she finally chooses to open her heart to someone, it will be because she is ready, not because she feels the pressure of time, social expectations, or fear of being left behind. The danger of rushing into a relationship is that it often leads to settling for less. The fear of being alone can cause someone to accept situations that don't meet their needs, and this can be more painful in the long run than embracing solitude. It takes strength and wisdom to recognize that being single is not a temporary state, but a stage of life that is rich with opportunity for growth, self-awareness, and emotional development. Rather than rushing into love, a woman who remains single for a long time is choosing to build her life on a foundation of personal strength and clarity. She is learning, evolving, and preparing herself for a relationship that aligns with her life and vision, rather than simply trying to fill a space next to her. In this way, the choice to take time before entering a relationship is not a sign of weakness or fear, but one of wisdom and resilience. It's an act of courage to resist the pressure to rush and to wait for a love that is worthy of her. Love is a bonus, not a completion. One of the most prevalent misconceptions in society is the idea that love is something that completes us. We are often taught to believe that finding a partner is the ultimate goal, and that without that person, we are somehow incomplete. This narrative is not only misleading, but it also places unnecessary pressure on individuals, especially women, to seek validation, fulfillment, and identity through relationships. The truth is, love is not the thing that completes us. Love is a bonus that enhances the life we've already built. It adds to our existence rather than defining it. When a woman remains single for a long time, it is often because she understands this fundamental truth, that her worth is not dependent on having a partner. She has already learned to find fulfillment in her own company, to build a life that brings her joy, and to thrive without needing someone else to fill a perceived void. This does not mean she is opposed to love or doesn't desire a deep, meaningful relationship. On the contrary, she recognizes that love is beautiful and transformative, but she knows that love should be an addition to her life, not the thing that makes her whole. This mindset shifts the way we approach relationships. Instead of viewing them as a means to fill a gap or solve an emotional problem, we begin to see them as something that enhances our lives. A relationship built from this perspective is grounded in mutual respect, understanding, and a shared desire to grow together. It is a partnership where both individuals bring their full selves to the table, having already cultivated their independence, self-respect, and confidence. In this way, the relationship becomes a celebration of who they are as individuals, not a rescue mission or an attempt to solve the problem of loneliness. When a woman has already established a fulfilling, meaningful life on her own, she is not entering a relationship from a place of neediness or desperation. She is entering from a place of choice and abundance. She has built her own happiness, pursued her passions, and created a life she loves. She is not looking for someone to complete her, but rather to complement her life. She is open to love, but not dependent on it to define her self-worth. This is an empowering position to be in, as it allows for the possibility of love to emerge naturally without the pressure of expectation. The woman who understands that love is a bonus can enter into a relationship with the clarity that she does not need to change or lose herself in order to fit into someone else's world. She can be fully herself, knowing that a healthy relationship will only add to her life, not diminish or restrict it. She won't be swayed by the need to make it work when deep down she knows something isn't right. Instead, she will wait for the love that is truly aligned with her values, vision, and needs. Furthermore, love as a bonus rather than a completion means that she doesn't seek validation from her relationship status. Society often places immense pressure on women to be in relationships, equating their value with their ability to attract a partner. But when a woman recognizes that love is an addition, not a requirement for her worth, she is free from this pressure. Her value is inherent, not based on her relationship status. She does not need to prove anything to anyone. By entering a relationship, she understands that being single is not a flaw. It's a stage of life that offers opportunities for growth, self-reflection, and personal fulfillment. The woman who sees love as a bonus also knows that love is not a cure-all for life's difficulties. Relationships are not a magic solution that will make all of her problems disappear. They require work, compromise, and emotional investment. She is not looking for someone to take away her pain, solve her problems, or fill emotional gaps. She is looking for someone to walk alongside her, to grow with her, and to build a life together. But that relationship will not define her happiness. Her happiness and fulfillment will come from her own inner strength, her sense of purpose, and her ability to create a life she loves, with or without a partner. This shift in mindset, seeing love as a bonus rather than something that completes us, liberates women from the societal pressures that often lead them to make choices based on fear, insecurity, or external expectations. It allows them to wait for the right love, the kind of love that adds to their already rich lives, rather than rushing into relationships that are born out of desperation or a need to fit into a particular narrative. The woman who understands this distinction is not afraid of being single because she knows that her life is already full, rich, and meaningful. Love will come not as a solution to a problem, but as a wonderful addition to her already complete and fulfilling existence. The bigger why. When we look at a woman who has been single for a long time, it's crucial to understand that her decision to remain single is not just about her relationship status. It's about the bigger picture, the purpose, and the deeper journey she is on. Society often pressures women to be in relationships, assuming that singlehood is something to be fixed. We question why a woman is still single, as if it is a flaw or a sign of something being wrong. But the truth is, the longer a woman remains single, the more likely it is that she is building something significant, something beyond just a relationship. She is living with intention, driven by a bigger why that gives her life meaning, direction, and purpose. This bigger why is the force that propels her forward, guiding her decisions, actions, and relationships. It is the foundation on which she builds her life. It is not about waiting for a partner to come along to complete her, but about living a life filled with purpose and passion, one that is meaningful whether or not anyone else shares it. The woman who remains single for a long time is often working on something bigger than herself, whether it's her career, personal growth, family, creative pursuits, or the impact she wants to make on the world. She is driven by a deep understanding that her time, energy, and emotional investment are too precious to be spent on anything that doesn't align with her core values or long-term goals. Her bigger why allows her to navigate life with a sense of clarity that is often missing in people who rush into relationships simply because they feel they should, or because society tells them that being single is a sign of failure. She is focused on the long term, on building a life that she loves and that is in alignment with who she truly is. Her decisions are made with thoughtfulness, not out of desperation or fear of being alone. She recognizes that everything she is working on, the relationships she's cultivating, the goals she's pursuing, the dreams she's chasing, requires time and energy. These are investments that build towards something far greater than merely being coupled with someone. For a woman who has a strong sense of her bigger why, the question is not, why am I still single, but what am I building? She is less concerned about societal judgment and more focused on creating a life that is fulfilling and true to herself. She is not in a hurry to rush into a relationship because she knows that being in the wrong relationship could detract from the things she is building. She also knows that a relationship should enhance the life she has already created, not detract from it. This bigger why provides the strength to wait for the right person, someone who understands her vision and complements the life she is already living. Her bigger why also gives her the resilience to face the pressures and criticisms that come from being single. There will always be questions and judgments from people who don't understand why she is not in a relationship. People will try to offer advice or suggest that she is missing out. But her bigger why shields her from these external pressures, because she knows what she's doing. She knows where she's going, and she knows that the journey she is on is far more important than conforming to societal timelines. This bigger why is not always immediately clear to others. It may manifest as a deep commitment to a career, a passion for travel, a desire to make a difference in the community, or a focus on personal growth and development. It can be anything that gives her life meaning and purpose. What matters is that it is deeply personal, and it is the driving force that guides her every action and decision. The woman who is single for a long time is not sitting idly by or waiting for life to happen. She is actively engaged in building a meaningful existence. When she does eventually choose to open her heart to a partner, it will be because that person aligns with her bigger why. They will add to her life, not change it. They will share in her vision, not try to derail it. A relationship for her is not about filling a gap or fixing something that's broken. It's about choosing to share in the beautiful, meaningful life she has already created. It is a partnership that enhances what is already there, one that supports her purpose rather than detracts from it. In the end, the bigger why that drives a woman to remain single for a long time is the foundation of her personal strength. It is what empowers her to wait for a love that truly matches the life she has built for herself. It is what allows her to prioritize herself, her growth, and her happiness over the need to meet external expectations. And it is what ensures that when she does find love, it will be a powerful, meaningful addition to her already extraordinary life.